Solving a word problem. We are going to do systems of equations because we have two different unknowns that we're going to have. Number 7 says the sum of two numbers is 42. The larger number is 2 times as large as the smaller number. What are the numbers? I like to use variables that make sense to me, so I'm going to use L for my large number and S for my small number. The sum of my two numbers is 42. Sum means I'm adding, so L plus S equals 42. The larger number, L, is 2 times as large as the smaller one. 2 times the smaller one, 2 S's. Keep in mind when you're translating, whatever one is mentioned first, that's the variable that's set equal to the other one. It's written in terms of the second variable. So the larger one is 2 times the smaller one. Now this system of equations we probably want to solve by substitution because we have L solved for 2S. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the L in my first equation, replace it with 2 S's. So now I have 2S plus S equals 42. I would want to combine my like terms. 2S plus 1S would be 3S equals 42. And then of course I've got to go ahead and divide 42 by 3. And so my smaller number is going to be equal to 14. S equals 14 when I divide that by 3. My larger number was twice as big as my small one, so 2 times 14 would give me 28. And of course, if I wanted to double check that, the sum of my two numbers should be 42. If I add 28 and 14, sure enough, it adds up to 42, so I'm pretty sure I did it correctly. Number 8 says the sum of two numbers is 61. The larger number is 7 more than the smaller number. What are the numbers? Again, I'm going to use L for the large one and S for the small one. The sum of my two numbers is 61. The large one plus the small one is 61. The larger number is, L is equal to, the larger number is 7 more than the smaller number. 7 more means I'm adding the 7 to the smaller one. We have the commutative property of addition, so if you wrote that backwards, it's okay. But keep in mind, if it was 7 less, it's got to go on the end. So get used to 7 more and 7 less, then I put it on the end, not in front. So again, this one we're going to solve by substitution. The L is equal to the S plus 7, so we're going to get rid of the L, put S plus 7 in its spot. So we have S plus 7 plus the S that was already there equals 61. So again, when I solve that, my first step here is I can combine some like terms. I have an S plus another S, so 2S plus 7 equals 61. And then I want to go ahead and solve that, so I'm going to move my 7 to the other side, so I have to subtract 7. 2S is going to equal 54. And then, of course, my next step, I have to divide by my coefficient of 2. So S is going to equal 27. My smaller number is 27. My larger number is 7 more than my smaller number. So if I put my 27 in for the smaller number, 27 plus 7 more, means my larger number would have to be 34. And again, if I double check that, the sum of my two numbers, 34 plus 27, should add up to 61. Sure enough, it does. So that should be the correct answer. The next one says the sum of two numbers is 46 and the difference is 12. What are the numbers? So again, I have my large number and the small number. The sum of my two numbers is 46. My large one plus my small one is 46. The difference is 12. That means if I subtract my large one and my small one, I get 12. Notice I rearranged these ones, or I wrote them down a little bit different. I put the top one, or the first one on top and the second one on bottom, because both of my variables are on the same side of my equation. I don't have one that says L equals or S equals written in terms of the other one. So on this one, instead of solving it by substitution, which you could do by rearranging one of your equations, it's probably easier just to go ahead and do the addition method. When we did the elimination method, we added our two equations, and since these are already opposite, we can get rid of the s's. So an L plus another L would be 2L. A positive s and a negative s going to cancel each other out. 46 plus 12, going to be 58. So now that makes that fairly easy to solve. All we have to do is go ahead and divide by the 2. 58 divided by 2, the large one is going to be 29. Now on these ones where we're doing the elimination method, it's a little trickier to find the smaller number because we don't have an equation that just says s equals something. I recommend that you always use the one with the plus sign. It's easier to solve. Not that the one with the minus sign won't work, because you should get the same answers, but I'm going to use the top equation that said L plus S equaled 46. We knew the large number was supposed to be 29, so 29 plus S equals 46. And then all we're going to do is solve that for S, so we're going to go ahead and subtract our 29. 46 minus 29 would give us 17. So if I add my two numbers together, I get a sum of 46. And if I subtract my two numbers, 29 minus 17, my difference is 12. So it double checks with my word problem and looks like it should be the correct solutions.